Hi guys, very good afternoon to you. Welcome to the video number 228. My name is Ajay and today I'm going to talk about the MS Access forms and how to basically control the MS Access queries using the forms. This is going to be a wonderful video. I bet on that because this is the technique which almost every used in almost every dashboard which you actually make on the Access, right? So I'm going to tell you this in a very short video that basically when developers, when they make the forms and they ask the users to give their inputs, to provide the data into those forms, then how basically what happens actually behind the scenes, right? So let's go ahead and let's just quickly go to the Access, and in this Access I'm going to make a form using the table called the order underscore details, right? This is the table. You can see that we have got here items, item order, order date, and ship date, and the quantity. So a lot of things are there actually. Now I'm going to make a form using this order detail table, and where we are going to directly control these headers using the form value, right? So for example, let us first of all create a query, and what we want to do is we want to actually find out the items let's say greater than 26th of March. So I want to find it out that how many orders we have given after 26th of March, or let it be any date, right? So we are going to convert this entire table. We are going to make a kind of a very small mini project, and we are going to use the forms and the queries there to fetch out all this the required information from this table. Because when you see a table can have a lot of records, because we have a limit of 2 GB in the Access, right? So obviously user will never like to go to the table, and neither we actually encourage the users to go to the table, because tables are basically only to store the data generally most of the time, right? So the control which user will have is directly going to be on the forms. So first thing which I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a very basic form. So this is how we're going to create the form. I go to the create option, and I click on the form design. You click on the form design, and this is how the window would come. And now here what we want to do is, it's all up to us. So let's say we want to as we were talking about that we're going to filter the data based on the dates, right? So let us do one thing. Let's just create here a text box, right? This is the text box I'm going to create. Click here, and you see this plus sign. Now just you can drag it. So I'm gonna drag this button over here, right? So you have a now text box, and in this text box I just don't need this piece. Maybe I can delete that. Instead of that, you can put the label as well. So label is to tell you that this text box actually refers to what. So you can write here that start date or order date, whatever you want to do, order date, right? So once you have created that, we can have a look here. Click on the view and the form view. This is how the form is going to look like, right? So here user can enter anything, but obviously we would like to enter the date here. So I come back to the design view, and you select this. Very important, you first need to select this. You see that once you select this, this gets highlighted. Now you need to go to the property sheet, which is exactly in the design menu tab, right? If you don't want to use that, maybe you can use the right click, and in the right click also you can go to the properties. Click on the properties, and you see that this is the text box which has a name called text, right? So this is the text box. If you want to rename it, you can rename it. That's fine. I mean, or if you just want to leave it like this, I say that that's a very bad option, because if you know me through my channel, a lot of time when we work on the forms, I always, whether they are the Access forms or the Excel forms, it's always good to give the naming conventions, right? So maybe I can give it a name called txt, let's say order date. Okay, I'll tell you the reason for this as well. All right, now this is the first thing which we have done. Now what is the next thing? I want to show this text box in the form of dates. So here you see that it says that show date picker, right? For dates never. So it should be for dates, it should remain as for dates only, right? Because the moment I click on the view, if you look at this this window right now, it's not giving you anything. Let me just save this. Do you want to save the changes? Yes, I want to save. Let's just keep it only form 2, no problem. However, it is good to, you know, we can give it a good name also, but this is something which we can do later on also. Let me go to the design view, hit on this, and now you don't see any pop-up here, and I want the pop-up, the date calendar basically, right? So I click back here in the design view, I click on the design view, and here I want to change this basically the format. So let me click on the format and let's click here, and you can see here that whatever the format basically you need. So let's just increase the width of this. We can see the format. So I guess this is fine, guys. This looks pretty cool. And show date pickets, it already says that yes, it should show, and I believe that's fine, right? So let's just come back and let me click on the form view, and there we go, guys. You see that the moment I changed that the format, you know, I provided the format under that format option, which date exactly we want to, you know, find it out. So this is which date format actually it is going to give me. So the moment I select the date, this format comes, and let me click outside of this. You see the moment I press tab, the tab means it goes out of this control, the date automatically changes to this 5th October 2016, right? So that's the first thing which we have done. Let's go back to the design view, and now we're going to create a command button which should run the form. So I'm going to click on this button, and I'm going to write here, let's say, just drag this, okay. And now, do you need anything from here? Well, as of now we don't need anything here, but we will be doing this. Definitely we will be running the query, but for now I just cancel the button. I mean, I cancel the things, and here when you select this you know, the control, you get to see this command tree. So this first of all I want to change this to CMD, and I want to change this to CMD, let's say submit, or maybe click, okay. Now also this, you see that this CMD click is changed. By the way, this is the caption option, so let's just keep it only click. Caption means that what user is going to see, right? So if you go in your this all option, you see that the name of this command button is command 3, and the command 3 means that it's a name which is given by the VBA, but you can change the name as well. You can write here CMD click, and in the caption what you write is basically what you see in the front. User has nothing to do with this name option. You have the two options, one is the name and the caption. Caption means what you write is going to be visible, and that's what exactly your user is going to see. And name is that if you write the programming in the Access, if you go in this control, let me just show you. Let me right click and go to the view code option here. View code option is not here, so no problem. Let's just click on this view code, and you see that now here on this whenever you write the form, for example, you want to run the macro based on whenever this is going to click, right? So let's go ahead and let me choose any of the options from here, not any of the option, but let me choose the CMD click. You see that the button is now saying that CMD click. It's not saying the command box 1 or command box 2 which you were seeing earlier, right? So what happens, because we changed the code, I have made it CMD click. If I change this to, let's say, Ajay, let's say, you know, this is not a good naming convention, but still, just to explain you. Now look at the code. If I just click back here, it is changed to Ajay. So when you have so many controls here in the form, you have a like form itself is a form is a control, label 2 is for this order date which you see, you know, behind this, then this is called the order date txt which we have created. So if you go by the VBA by default naming convention, you would start, you know, seeing here like text box 1, text box 2, label 1, label 2, command box 1, command box 2, and eventually you will be very much confused, because you will not be able to remember those many controls are assigned for what purpose. But if you give your name, then you know that. Now look at this. I know that if I select this option, then this means that whenever the user is going to update this, before update the event is going to fire, and that the control is going to be on the order date text box, because I have given it a good name, right? Previously it was not like this. By default the name came as, I think, the text box 1 or sort of that. So that is why it is always good to give these names, right? So this is for your own purpose, and what you write under the caption, that is simply goes in the front end, right? Okay, so first of all, let me just change this back to command box cmd click. Okay, now what you want is when you click on this button, we want to fetch the information which is for that day. Basically this is what we are saying. So I'm saying that if I select here 5th of October, or maybe let's say today is 11th of October, I select this, and the moment I click here on this button, right, I should be able to see all the records which are purchased or whatever. I mean their order date is basically is the 5th of October or 11th of October, whatever the order date, right, you have given here. Now how to do that? Now the first thing is you are supposed to make the query for this, and then we are going to link up this query with the form. So I go in the query design, and this is how you go in the query, and from here you select all the tables. So I have just one table right now, so I'm just going to add that. And now you need everything, so just keep double click on every item, and you see that they are coming in your query visit over here, right? Well, you don't need this, just close this, because in queries generally we don't use this property sheet. This is mostly we use in the forms. Okay, now if you run this, you know that this is a simple select query, right? Now it's a simple select query, and it has fetched all the information, because we haven't given any criteria. So in order to give the criteria, the date which user is going to select, this date, we will have to link this form 2 with the query 3. How we are going to do that? So just see that where is your item order, because this is what we need to do, right? Now you know that the name of your form is form 2. First of all, you need to remember the name. You need to know the name of the form, which is form 2. The second important thing is you need to know that what is the name for this control which you have created, text box, and go to the design view and select this. It is already selected, so I just simply go to the design and I click on the property sheet, and there we go. Now the name of this text box is txt order date, right? So fine, we know that. Now what is the next thing we need to do? Come back to your query and close this property sheet. We don't need this. In the criterias, whatever the date the user is going to enter in the form 2 in that text box, that date should come here automatically, right? Because I tell you, let's say if I select this date and I just let me insert the date here. This is the date. Now the moment I hit on view, if you have a look, that the form is empty. The reason is because you don't have any record for this date. Let me just find out any date. For example, we need to find it out for the records called 8th of September. So I copy the 8th of September, and in the criteria here I'm gonna put this 8th of September, right? Let me click on the view, and still you don't see the value here. The reason is because this is not going to considered as actually the date, because it's creating the codes, and I guess I'm doing a big mistake here. It's not item order, actually it's order date, right? So there we need to put the date. Yeah, there we go. Now it has inserted the hashes, and that is why I was wondering actually that why it is not giving the correct format. Anyways, I was choosing the wrong column. So now let's hit on the run, and there we go, guys. You see that we got the data for the 26th of September. Now this is fine. I mean, you can change the date every time in the query. You can also make the parameter query. Parameter query is another query which you can use. Just go to my the playlist on my channel and find out their access queries, and you would see the information there on the parameter query. But anyways, this is not really something we are looking forward to, because right now I want to automate this. I want to link this particular area with my form. So how are you going to do that? So in order to do that, we need to put a formula here, right? So what we are going to do, you will write forms. This is by default you need to write, okay, and then put the exclamation sign, and you would see here all the forms. Now we have only got 2 forms here, form 1, form 2. If you have 50 forms, you will get the 50 list, right? So choose the form which you want. You remember guys, our form is form 2. So select the form 2, right? Again you press the sign of exclamation. The moment you do that, it will take you to all the controls which you have created. And if you remember, we have created all these. CMD click is another one, label 2 is another one, txt order date is the one, and then there is a detail also. So we need this control, right? So that's it, right? You do this and press equals to, and there we go. So let me just increase the width of this so that you can see. Now this is how you write. So basically what you did, first you write the forms, which is a keyword. You need to write this forms and then sign of exclamation and the form name, and then sign of exclamation again and that form control. The moment you press enter or you come out of this, you know, automatically these square brackets will be inserted. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, so this forms is a word which you are supposed to write, and then the form name, and then the control name which is a part of that form. In this case, form 2 is what we are using, and under form 2 we are using the control called the txt order date. Now once this is all done, you just save the query. Let me save the query, and so I'm going to name this as order date query, let's say underscore q. All right, I saved the query. I close the table also. Now what we need to do is go to the design view of your form again, and here just select this and go to the design again, and go to the property sheet. Now what you want to do is, that is the important thing guys, when I hit on this, when I click on this button, I want to run that query. Okay, so in the event here, you see that you can write here a lot of things. You can write here some procedures, some macros as well. I mean, if you have created any macro can also be created. But now what exactly I want to do is, I want to run the query here, right? So in this case, I'm simply going to create this button again. Let me quickly delete this, and I'm going to create here this button again. Okay, the moment you create the button, you remember this window, you know, was coming up, so I cancelled it out, right? So ideally, you know, I think you should create the query first and then you create the form. Now in this query, in this button, what I want to do is, I want to run the query. So just go to all the options one by one. Record navigation is something which we are not looking forward to. Record operations is something I don't think so we are looking forward to. So you can scroll it down, and I would I guess that it's in the miscellaneous tab, so that's where it is, run query, right? So run query, which query you want to run, click on the next. Now you will see here all the queries which you have created so far. So we created the queries, order date, query 1, query 2. Anyways, query 1, query 2 I haven't created in this video, but you know that this is the query, and you can click on the next. And then would you like to make it a text form, you know, or you would like to give it a picture? If you give it a picture, then you know the picture would be created like this, and I really don't use this option. I prefer always text, so that you know you can have a text also coming here, whatever you want to do. So run query, instead of the run query, I would say that run. That's it, right? So click on the next, and a meaningful name will help you to refer to the button later. So this is what I was talking about, that don't give this command for button, instead of write let's say click me, and finish it. Okay, now let's just test this code. Now I'm going to click on the form view, and this is the 11th October. Let me hit here, and there we go, guys. You see that it is working. So we don't have any data, I think, for the 11th October. Let's just have a look. I'm not sure. I don't think so it is there. Yeah, so maybe you can I can do one thing, a couple of dates I can change. For example, I can copy this and paste it here, 2nd of September, let's say. So we have 3 records by 2nd of September, and now the next time the user is going to run, by the way, you can also click on this. This is going to give you the complete look of this form, right? So let me select the 26th of September from this, and now we should be able to see the records. Let's click on this. All right, run. So it's not giving you the correct answer. We will have to identify what's wrong with this. It's the order date 26th of September 2016, and okay, it was actually 2nd of September, my bad. It's not 22nd. I got to change this. Okay, there we go. Let me hit the run. Okay, still we have the error. All right, so let me see that. What is the problem with this? If I hit on the view, the query works very fine, and it gives all the records for the, the query works. Actually, you see that I clicked on the query runs, but why it is not able to run from the form? That's very strange. Let me click on the view again. So we have 2nd of September 2016, all the records, and so query is okay. Yeah, there we go. I don't know why it was not coming. That's very strange. All right, so you got the data by this order date called 22nd of September, or maybe I think I was looking at the wrong number. I was looking at the column header ship date, right? So it's actually the order date, my mistake. All right, so now we can change the date further. Let's have a look. Let's do the testing for the 8th of September as well. So I'm going to use the 8th of September. I click on the run, and there we go. You see that? So previously I think I was looking on the wrong header. That's why I was wondering why it is not coming. So you see that now your query is controlled by the form, so user doesn't have to do any changes. And moreover, guys, when you design the Access, if your user is new to the Access, or otherwise also, normally you like to give the controls always on the forms, right? Because if you give the control, if you tell them that go and modify the queries, sometimes what happens while working on the queries, they may delete, or they may do maybe unknowingly, not deliberately, but they can do some changes in the queries, and then it is very difficult to trace out the things. So just make them the forms, and tell them that they got to run the form, and they got to put the date here, or whatever. I mean, basically whatever the control you want to give, that you can give it, right? So you choose any of the date, and the things will run fine. So there is no date for this, and if I select, let's say maybe 12th of maybe let's say 20th April, so any date, I mean, you're going to select, this is going to work, right? So this calendar also is fantastic. It's so easy to see the things. So I'm gonna select 20th of April, and I'm gonna hit run, and there we go, guys, right? So this is how you actually link your forms with the queries, and then further you use the table information, right? So that's it for now, guys, and we will be back with some more exciting stuff. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that and watch all those amazing 228 videos on Access, Excel and VBA. Thank you so much. Bye bye.